Fine, Professor.
Oh, great, Damien. It looks like, well, I still have this audio issue. Jesus. Um, I have no problem speaking, but when you say something, there's a lot of static. So I think it will. I will need to completely restart. Otherwise, this isn't gonna go away. So let me. I apologize, but let me sign out and completely restart the computer. Okay. Um, because I can see. You may be able to see too. If you can. Um, Let me share my screen. All right. You see, when you see there, that's the, it says my experience is poor because, and that's, the data that is being uploaded or delay, there's, what is that, 1.88 second delay. So when there's, this bar is red, or this, it means, my audio, my audio has, a problem or connection is bad or, something. So I'm gonna have to close out everything and probably restart the computer. But I'll be back. Okay. I just restarted the browser a while ago. It didn't fix the problem. I'll have to restart the computer. I'll be back.
All right,
Give me
Professor.
a few seconds. All righty. Thank you. All right, I'm back. Looks like I'm okay. Looks like my problem has been resolved. Um, just to confirm, okay. Uh, all right, you see, okay. Um, my connection status seems good, you know. Delay is almost zero point zero 0.08 seconds. So just to confirm, can anybody say something to me? Just to confirm.
All right,
Yeah,
Professor,
we
can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yeah, you sound much
Great,
better.
great, great. And you sound great. You sound, you know, with no without any static. There's no static noise. I can hear you clear. Good. So finally, the problem has been resolved. Uh, and so I'm sharing my screen now, and let me just go back to let's quickly get back to the forum, and let's see how many people are there. Okay. In the forum, there are uh, 13, but two of them are my threads. So there are effectively 11 people, but I have only 5 people here. Where is the rest of where's the rest of that 11? I mean, we're still missing 6 people. Huh? This is okay. Vladimir left. Adam Rodriguez has no connection. Okay, hopefully they're gonna come back, and um, but you know, come on, I'm logged in. There's no reason for. Okay, I just want to also show you. I don't know where these people are. Uh, because in the collaborate session, let's go back to collaborate. See, there's only one session, right? Uh, which is, you know, and I have only now I have 5 people only. This is this is kind of weird. Um, I just want to mention that in the assignment, no, this is nothing. You know, you don't have to actually in the announcement. I have posted I have posted this announcement about the connect chapter problems, right? Uh, they are automatically assigned, right? And the connect chapter problems are uh, uh, they are not directly going into your uh, they are not directly factoring into the semester grade, but they will help. Uh, it says literally, although this assignment was originally issued only as a practice, um, it can also be used as a basis for extra credit, right? Makeup or for supplementing the lower score if and only if necessary for those who fall into at-risk region, right below B minus at the end of the semester. So it's always, you know, uh, a good idea to do that. And uh, if you go to McGraw-Hill, I'm signed out again. So, Now, it is all these problems are visible to you. The only thing is from your end, uh, they are visible, but they are not doable. You see, they have dates, and the ones that are not yet active have, they are locked. You see the padlocks, but the ones that are um, active, there are arrow symbols, and then this one has been available since August 31st, and it's due September 24th. And chapter 13, we haven't got to chapter 13 yet, but soon, I guess. Um, but it's been available since September 9th, and it's due October 15th. So look,
I was able to see that part, Professor. All I see is the book when I go to McGraw Hill.
no, 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 no. Look, let me get back there. Did you click on that?
No, I didn't go in
And
that way.
then
No, I didn't go in that way. All right.
you gotta do it, exactly as instructed. You gotta um, use your BMCC email. Okay, please only use BMCC email. I don't know if I mentioned it in the announcement. Um, I'm gonna send out an email, but where is that? Course information. Connect site link. You have to have the access code, right? You must have a valid access code. You must sign up first and gain access by entering your own access code. Access code is the publisher's proprietary item, which either comes with a new textbook, or which comes with the new textbook. I mean, why did I say either? It just comes with the new textbook, or
We had the option to rent the book.
but look, I've been telling you this. How rental books cannot come with any access code, right? Rental books have been around for, I mean, the 12th edition, the rental books have been around, at least 12th edition. If 12th edition has been around for 2 years, right? If the 12th edition has been around for 2 years, then that means the rental books have been around for 2 years as well. But think about it. Who rented it, someone who rented it the first, right? The first person who rented it 2 years ago, he or she must have used that access code. Then that
So
access code has already expired.
what what I'm saying, Professor, is when I went to the BMCC bookstore,
Hmm.
I was told I could only get an ebook, and that's how
Yeah,
they
yeah.
gave it to me. They gave me
No,
a
no.
rental ebook.
Yeah,
That's
you can listen. You can get an ebook. I mean, I'm using my. You need to speak up a little because I'm using, my volume is, um, my speaker volume is at 75, but I still have hard time hearing you. So please speak. Um, Look, ebook is, I don't know how much is the ebook, but ebook comes, of course, ebook is already access code. You cannot have ebook without access code. But then how do you rent an ebook? I don't know how to rent an ebook because ebook is really the access code. Will they will they give you new access code every time you rent it? You rent
All
the
they
ebook?
gave, all they, the only option they gave me, I tried to buy the actual textbook because I
Hmm.
didn't want an ebook, and the only
Hmm.
option they gave me at the bookstore to get that
Hmm.
book was to rent the ebook. That's what they gave me. I went to
That
actually get
that's
a textbook, and they told me the only option I
oh
had was to get an ebook, and that's what I ended up with. I've never had an
no,
ebook,
no,
and that's what I have
no.
now.
That's oh come on. That's weird because I pre-ordered the books were ordered already pre-ordered. Um, but then did you have any luck with the come on, let me open this. Okay. Let me also let's see. F 300 standard syllabus. Where is it? All right, I'll have to open then from. Did you from the syllabus? Did you directly access their microsite?
Yeah, yeah, Professor, I got that part. And to top it off, I got two books. It's showing me two books. It's showing me that book and another book.
No, this is the custom edition. This is what I use. What other book?
Right.
I mean,
I have that part when I go onto the McGraw Hill. But when I go onto McGraw Hill site, I I see two books under that category.
Professor,
maybe
is
you.
he able to show his screen so he can show you what he's talking about?
I
Am
don't
I
have
not
them right
sharing my
now.
screen?
No, no, the gentleman. Can the gentleman show his screen so
Oh,
he can show?
oh, no, no. That's the problem. I mean, on Collaborate,
Oh,
on
okay.
Collaborate, students are. I mean, I wish I could do that, but the students are not.
Can I send you a I can send you a screenshot of it when I go
Yeah,
on to it
yeah,
because right now I'm actually on the system, so I'd have to log out to actually take a screenshot of what I have. So I can either do it now or
yeah,
before
yeah, yeah.
class or after
Send
class.
it to my Yahoo Mail. Please send it to my Yahoo
All
Mail.
right, sir. Yep,
Okay.
will do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If there's a way, I would like to. I'm trying to find out if there's a way I can make. Well, I think I can. I think I understand what he's talking about. It must be what you may be seeing the regular edition, right? But the regular edition is quite expensive. The regular edition would be like, almost $300. Um, Anywhere, let's see, if I go to Amazon, let's say, uh, and the name of the book, um, actually, it's by the author. Uh, Essentials of Investment. Yeah, Bodie Marcus, Essentials of Investment. Bodie Marcus. And Essentials of Investment. 12th edition. This is not 12th. Okay. Hardcover, $42 to rent. Okay, but this is so you're looking at this, right? Everyone can see this.
Yes,
Paperback,
Professor. Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah, paperback, hardcover, but they are to rent. But the problem is, if you rent, it doesn't come with the access code,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because they are used. Think about it.
Right.
If 12th edition has been around already for 2 years, right? The Someone who rented it out first, luckily, he or she must have, used already the access code. And once the access code is used, it is associated only that, particular individual. And when he returned the book, even if, I mean, the access code is nothing but a number, some, uh, password, some, code. So the code may be, printed inside the book. But if you try to use it, you can't. It's no longer usable. You understand? It's no longer usable because
Yes.
it was
Uh-huh.
going to be used by someone else,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, that's why you cannot use the rental book, because if it is rental, now uh, and so none of these are new books. They are all, basically, used books.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Loose leaf is 131. Um, yeah, maybe, if it is 131, I think this is the price of also the ebook. Check. Um, and if you're looking at this, I think Arthur has already logged out, and he doesn't need to log out. I don't know why he logged out. He didn't need to. Arthur is here still.
Yeah, I'm here, Professor. I'm trying to actually pull up the information for you now.
You don't need to. I mean, just confirm whether this is what you're looking at.
No, that's not what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay. Uh, Again, if you're, I mean, you can buy an ebook. Amazon is not. I don't know if you can look up ebook from Amazon.
I looked up the book by the ISBN number, and then I
Yeah, yeah.
also went to the school though. Like I said, sir, I went to
Mhm.
the school itself, and that's what my option ended up being.
The ISBN number is uh, the ISBN number is the
I have
ISBN.
that. That's the book I have. I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that.
yeah. Look, that is the custom edition. You understand? That's the BMCC custom edition.
That's the ebook I have. That's exactly what they gave me. They didn't give
This
me a
is not.
hardcover book.
No, no. This is not an ebook. I mean, did you buy it? Did you already buy it?
Yes, sir. I bought it right before class started because when I went through the syllabus, I
Okay,
gave them the
then you got.
ISBN number.
This is not. Listen, this is not an ebook. This is a hard. This is a hard copy book. This is a paper book, and as well, it comes with the access code as well.
That's not
So
what
if
they
you got
gave me,
it,
sir. That's not what they told me when I got there. That's not what they
I
told
don't know.
me. I went for a hard copy book. That's what I went for. And then they told
Yeah,
me
yeah.
it was
This
not
is a
available.
hard copy book. This is a hard copy book. Okay, this is a hard copy book. So you have.
They
So
told
did
me to
you
buy
receive?
my book online. I was told
Yeah,
to
yeah.
buy my book
That's.
online.
Listen, I think they told you it's an. I think they called this ebook just because you could buy it online. But this is not an ebook. Ebook is um, ebook gives you only access. Ebook gives you access to their online material. So you have ebook has no hard ebook has no hard copy. It's not a print. It's not a print copy. Okay,
I can
ebook
I can
is.
email you. I can email you the receipt I have right now, sir. Because when I
You don't
went to
have to.
the
You don't have to. You don't have to email me the receipt. The receipt is yours. You
no no
keep it.
with the book
So,
with just what I said, I screenshot it. I when I they told me to go online, order the book. I ordered the book, and then I went there to pick up the book, and then when I got there, they told me that the book was not a hardcover; it was an email, and then they told me to log in and get it that way. That's what they told me to
oh,
do at the
oh, look,
bookstore.
look, listen, listen. Um, okay, so if you already bought it, okay, um, and you got, did you get any code? Did you get any code?
I was told to
You did?
sign into McGraw Hill the same way that I got the book, and that's how I would get to use the book.
No,
And
no,
that's all they
just
told me.
answer my question. Did you get? So when you purchased it, did you get a code?
They didn't give me no code, sir. They just gave me they
If
told me
they
to
didn't
log
give you any
online.
code, how can you?
They
If they
didn't
didn't
give
give
me
you
any
any
code.
code, listen, if they didn't give you any code, how can it be an ebook? If it is an ebook is nothing but a code. And with the code,
I'm gonna
you
go back
can
to the. I'm gonna go back to the. I'm gonna go back to them and find out what's going on because I know
listen,
what they
listen.
told me when I was there, and now I don't want to get upset about something I already paid for. So I'm just gonna leave it alone until I go back to the bookstore and find out
No,
what
no,
happened
listen,
because
listen,
I don't understand what happened then. I don't understand what happened. I don't. I
listen.
don't.
You just keep quiet and listen, please. Okay? Hold silence for them. Listen. So this is not an ebook, right? This is a hard copy book. Hard copy means paper book, it's not different from hardcover. Hardcover is really, paper book with really hard cover. This is just paperback. Okay, this is just a paperback with that comes with the access code. Access code is printed inside the book. Okay, in the inside the jacket of the book. So all you need to
Yeah,
do is
because what?
you have the hard copy book plus the access code. With the access code, what you need to do is you go to the link I provided, and then using BMCC email, right? You sign up, right? You'll basically once you type in the your BMCC email, then this bar will light up, and then click begin, and then just follow the process, right? And then you will have access to everything, and it will look. Um, and once you are in there, you will be able to see. Uh, I have so many. I have so many layers of, of folders. Hmm, I have, where's the, uh, okay. And it will look like this from your end. And I think I was showing you that too from, yeah, this is what it's going to look like once you do, once you complete the sign up process. So I think the bookstore, the bookstore doesn't know. I mean, this book, when you when you purchase the book, did you did you use your home address as the shipping address? Damien, are you there? Damien,
Yes, sir.
did you did you uh, did you order it to be shipped to your home?
I ordered it to pick it up at the bookstore.
Oh, then the bookstore. Look, this is a hardcover, and it will be delivered to the bookstore. I mean, then you can pick it up from the bookstore. The bookstore doesn't know. They think it is a. They simply think it is an ebook because you purchased it online. You understand? But this is a hard copy book. This is not an ebook. Okay? And if it is an ebook, they must. The minute you paid, then you receive the code, right? But you didn't receive any code. That means it wasn't an ebook. Ebook is nothing but because ebook is um, everything, the chapters and everything, uh, exams, chapter problems, everything is on Connect. Everything is on their online platform. So all you need is a key to unlock that online platform. That key is the access code. And if you buy an ebook, they will just give you that code. You understand? And there's nothing to ship. Think about it. There's nothing to ship. If it is an ebook, there's nothing to ship. Right? All you need is simply, uh, uh, if it is an ebook, all you need is simply uh, the access code. That's all, right? And it says pages 447. Now, if it is not a physical book, how can there be? If it is an e-book, how can there be number of pages? Right? And I don't know why this. Normally, I should be able to add it to my cart, but I don't know why. But you are able to purchase it. So if you told them to ship it to BMCC bookstore, then um, it must be at it should be at BMCC book. I don't know if it has already been delivered or not. So what you need to do is contact them again and tell them to give you a tracking number. Okay? They normally ship it by FedEx or whatever. If they have whatever USPS, UPS, there must be a tracking number. You must have paid $90 plus shipping, didn't you? Right, Damien? Are you there, Damien?
Professor, I'm gonna go back to the library. I don't really want to talk about this anymore. I'm just gonna go back to the library,
No, no,
to
no.
the
Yeah, yeah,
bookstore, and
yeah.
talk
Do
to
it. Do
them.
it
I
later.
don't really want to talk
Do
about
it
this.
later. Do it later. Okay. Do it later. Um, I mean, obviously, you cannot go to the bookstore right now because are you on BMCC campus? even if you're on BMCC campus, um, you have a class now. You don't go to the bookstore at this time. Okay? All I'm telling you is the bookstore probably, didn't, most likely the bookstore didn't understand, because this is how you buy it online, so they think it was an ebook. Most like that's what it looks like. But again, obviously, if you paid, this plus the shipping, then they must provide you, they must provide the tracking information for you. You understand? So by, you check the tracking information, you will know whether it has been received by the bookstore or not. Okay? Alrighty, so that's, that took a lot of time. But
This class is going to be online next semester as well.
Yeah, I don't spring. It will be also most likely online. The the pandemic situation won't be resolved. I don't think it will be resolved by next spring. So it will still be online, but you don't have to just give your best, while you're, during this semester. Don't think about, next semester. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being, having some, plans in advance. Well, anyway, so without further ado, so let's talk about, let's continue from where we left off last time. This is not yours. So in our last class, okay, we were talking about the yield to call, and we basically, we talked about the callable bond, right? And so does anyone remember what callable bond is? Call bond?
That's the bond in which the seller reserves the right to call the bond at a certain price back when it reaches a
Yeah.
certain interest, right?
Right. And that was, who was this? Damien?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Damien. So yeah. So this is fnb300, and today is 0909. Okay, Damien. Okay, I'll give you 0.25 for that. Yeah. Rather than seller, let's say issuer, because seller can be, the issuer has the right to call the bonds, recall, right? Call the bonds if certain conditions are met. And that certain condition means, if the overall interest rate in the market goes down. Okay? And let's make a clear distinction between the seller and the issuer, because suppose company X sold 10-year bond, 10-year. So the company X is the issuer, and when they sell it at time zero, then the bond has 10 years left, still 10 years left. And at time zero, the first round of buyer, the buyer who bought it directly from company X, in the first round of sale, that's called primary market. And if they bought it from, if they bought it from the primary market, um, this is a buyer, right? And this buyer can hold it for 3 years, right? This buyer can hold this bond for 3 years, collect interest for 3 years, and in year four, the buyer may sell it. Then at this point, this buyer becomes the seller, right? And you could be the next guy buying from this seller. You understand? So then that's called secondary market. You're in the secondary market then. After the primary market, every transaction is secondary market, right? Every transaction is secondary market. So, and you can hold it for 2 years and sell it to another buyer, and that's still secondary market. There can be multiple transactions, multiple buy and sell, right, in the secondary market. You understand? There's only one transaction in the primary market because primary market is like the IPO, right? The first time sell. So now think about it. You cannot say the seller calls the bond because seller is not the issuer, right? Seller is not necessarily the issuer. In the secondary market, seller is anybody who was holding the bond before you, right? And so the bondholder cannot call the bond, right? The seller cannot call the. And think about it. The seller, the guy who sold the bond to you, so that guy who bought it in the primary market or from the secondary market, whoever that is, doesn't have the bond anymore. You're the bondholder, right? So between the then who calls the bond? Who can call the bond? It's the company that issued the bond. So you should say it's the issuer. Bond issuer calls the bond. Okay, does that make sense? And then the bond issuer will under what conditions? Under what conditions? First of all, there is a call. I talked about this. There's a call protection period, because people, if you're buying bond, right? Obviously, you don't want to. You're gonna buy the bond that pays, better than market interest rate, better than prevailing rate in the market. So. So prevailing interest rate in the market was 8%, and this bond's coupon rate was 10%. So then you bought this because this was, paying better interest than the prevailing rate in the market. But then that was at time zero. That was at time zero. And if you had known that this was a callable bond, you might have, you probably didn't buy it. Or you could have bought it knowing that it is a callable bond. But then at least, your better than market rate, your interest that is better than the market interest is guaranteed for the call protection period. Okay, but if there is no call protection period, that means the buyer is just taken for a ride. For example, you just bought the bond, but even before you receive the first coupon payment, let's say they call the bond, you get your money back plus 1 year coupon interest. Okay, but then you just simply wasted, the opportunity to invest it in another bond that wouldn't, that is, straight. In other words, not callable. So you get the uh, early termination fee. In other words, that's called call premium. So you get the price uh, uh, and the call premium for 1 year, the market price plus the call premium for 1 year. So it may not be all wasted, but the point is it's really there's no point if there is no call protection period. So, and I told you they will call the bond if the average prevailing interest rate in the market goes down. And the reason is um, if when they issue the bond at time zero, the prevailing market rate was 8%, so they had to pay 10% coupon to attract investors. But now, 5 years later, and call protection period is over, let's say, 5 years later, overall interest rate in the market goes down to 5%. Right? Previously at time zero, it was 8%. Now it's 5%. So at this point, the company will want to refinance, meaning they can now sell bonds at 7% interest rate, 7% coupon rate, which is just 2% higher than the market rate, but it is much better than paying 10%. So they call the bonds and they pay back the old bondholders and just start anew with the new bondholders. And I told you this is all done without coughing up actually, without coughing up the money from their own pocket, right? Refinancing doesn't require your own money. You simply, it's when you refinance, what is that? What's happening in refinancing? You have the let's say you have the loan balance of, let's say, $10,000. You have the loan balance of $10,000. You don't have to cough up $10,000 out of your own pocket to pay back the old, lender. What you need to do is just find a new lender who is, willing to lend you at a lower interest rate. So they will lend you $10,000, and with this $10,000, you pay off the old lender, right? And then you basically separate with the old lender. There's a severance payment. Severance payment is just 1 more year's coupon. That way, you're not gonna pay 10% interest anymore. You'll be starting new with, you'll be starting anew with 7% interest rate with the new lender. That's the idea. So then think about it. So it doesn't require any. It doesn't require any actual funds, coughing up any actual funds from the issuer of the bond. They will simply before calling the bond, they will sell new bonds. If the total amount of the bond is $10 million, they will sell $10 million worth of bonds, and then at 7% interest, and with the proceeds, so $10 million will come in, right? With the proceeds, they pay off the old bondholders. They will pay whatever the market price is, plus the call premium. Okay, so that's how this is up to this. That's what we talked about in the last class. So I want to give you one. I want to give you one question. So here are two companies, right? Two companies. One company A and company B. Company A and company B. So company A's call price is 112%. What does that mean? That's 1,000. It's expressed in percentage, so that's $1,120. That's their call price. Okay, call price means the price of the bond plus the call premium, right? Whatever is the call premium. Company B's call price is 117% or $1,170. Now, if interest rate goes down, right? Overall interest rate in the market goes down. Which company is more likely to? Of course, this means market price, right? And this is intrinsic value, right? So market price of the bond, if the interest rate goes down, bond, think about it. If interest rate goes down, this will, what's going to happen? The intrinsic value of the bond will go up or go down?
Down.
No.
Down.
Why does it go down? If the interest rate goes down, if the prevailing rate goes down, why would the intrinsic value go down? It should go up. Why? The prevailing rate in the market. This interest rate means the prevailing rate in the market. And if the prevailing rate in the market is what you use as the discount rate, think about it. It's going to be used as discount rate. And the discount rate, if the discount rate goes down, we all know, we've been talking about this. If the discount rate goes down, the present value of anything must go up. It's just simple mathematical logic. You understand? Everyone is clear about that? We have 9 people now. Adam, are you there, Adam? Adam? Larissa, are you there? Larissa? Not here.
Yes,
Anna?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, Adam. Okay, Adam and Larissa. Do you understand? When prevailing market rate goes down, right? Because you're using the prevailing market rate as the discount rate, right? And when the discount rate goes down, the whole fraction must go up. Do you understand that?
Yes, Professor. It's the inverse relationship.
Okay, good. Adam, okay, Anna's, replied. Larissa, do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. By now, you should all understand. Yeah, Ibani, did you?
Yes.
Okay, great. Giselle, are you there? Giselle? All right. Damien, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Professor.
Okay, so now you understand, right? Because you understand this inverse relationship between the denominator and the whole fraction, right? Damien? This is the time to answer, right?
Was that, Professor? Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I'm all right. All right. Yeah.
All right. Josu, Eugenio, Josu, are you there?
Yes,
Josu?
I'm here.
Okay, you get this inverse relationship between uh, the fraction and the whole fraction and the denominator, because the discount rate is in the denominator. When discount rate goes down, the whole fraction has to go up,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Get this logic, right? Sabrina, you get the logic, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody who has studied economics or finance, this is the baseline. This is the this must run in your DNA. This must run in your bloodstream. The inverse relationship in between the discount rate and the present value, right? This makes the difference. This makes the whole difference. So yeah, um, so we understand why this is the case. Uh, the market price, think about it. What this means is the intrinsic value of the bond is greater than the market price. I mean, why? Because market price can also go up, but then the intrinsic value will be greater. I mean, intrinsic value will generally be greater because um, if the market price and the intrinsic value are not usually not aligned, right? In the short run, they are not aligned, and that's only natural, because in the short run uh, there's mispricing in the market, because market prices usually only market prices a lot of times determined by noise, right? But intrinsic value is purely mathematical. So if uh, the discount rate goes down, it will have to go up. Now, in case of B, the same thing happens also with bond C. But then my question is, which company is more likely to call? Which company is more likely to call? I mean, if the prevailing rate in the market goes down, if these are callable bonds, they will be called. But which company is more likely to call? Right? That's the question. Which company is more likely to call? Now, I'm gonna put you on a break. It's 7:03, so I'm gonna put you on a 10-minute break. We're gonna reconvene at 7:13, and when we reconvene, I want you to during the break, I want you to think about it and give me the answer. Between the company A and B, which company is more likely to call? Right? Okay? Which company is more likely to call?
Okay.
All righty, so uh, let's take a 10-minute break. I'm gonna
Okay, Professor.
All right, we're back. Is everyone there? Is everyone back?
Yeah.
Oh, hi Anna. Glad to glad to hear from you. And how about the other people? Adam, are you back? Larissa, are you back? Damien.
I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Adam and Larissa. Damien, are you back? Ibani, are you back? Ibani, Giselle. Okay,
Yeah, I'm here,
Damien.
Professor.
Okay, you're there. Okay. Giselle, are you back? Giselle. Josu, Eugenio, Josu, you're there.
I'm
Sabrina,
here.
are you there? Yeah, you're there. Sabrina,
Yes,
Giselle.
Professor, I'm back. Giselle
Oh,
Leon.
yeah. All right. Glad to hear back from all of you. Practically, there are 8 people, right? Um, so where was I? Oh yeah, the question was. So what is your answer? I mean, between these two companies, which one is more likely to call? Hmm?
I think B.
B is more likely to call. Anyone? Anyone else? Is there anyone who has different idea? Okay, who said B? Let me hear your reasoning. Who said B?
I said B.
Okay, Anna. Okay. So what is your logic behind it? What's the reasoning?
Well, since they have like a higher coupon price, they would owe more in what is it,
It,
the coupons that they have to pay.
yeah, yeah. It's not the coupon. It's the call price. Call
Yeah.
price. And we don't know what is their coupon rate because coupon is already included in this because call price includes basically um, the intrinsic value at that point plus one more year's coupon payment. So that's call price. I don't know uh, if coupon rate is 17% or I don't know. Nothing that information is not given, but all we know is that the coal price is $1,170. That's basically including coal premium one more year's coupon payment. Company A is $1,120, but then uh, to coal, they have to pay this. But then think about it. When interest rate goes down, uh, interest rate goes down, um, the intrinsic value is um, worth more than before, and because of lower discount rate. Um, and think about it. Regardless, uh, what they have to pay out is for company A $1,120, company B $1,170. So which I mean think about it. To pay this out, which one um, which one is more uh, which one is which one finds it less burdensome? Which company finds it less burdensome? Company A or company B? Hmm? Isn't it quite this is a simple and straightforward logic. To call the bond, you have to pay out the call price, right? But between,
Professor, nothing is
company.
showing on my screen.
Nothing is showing on your screen. Am I not? Okay.
I
I don't
see.
know. I'm sharing my screen. Currently I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah. I don't know why. Uh, but can't you see this? Can't you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Professor, I'm signing out, all right? Because I can't see nothing on the screen, and I don't know what's going on with my computer or my laptop or whatever. So I'm gonna sign
uh,
out, all right? All right.
yeah. You might need to refresh. You might need to refresh the browser, right? Or update the browser. All right. So my question was, um, between company A and company B, which one finds it less burdensome to pay out? Hmm? Is it less burdensome to pay out 1,120, or is it which one is less burdensome, 1,120 or
It'd be
1,100?
A because it's
A.
less.
A,
It will
yeah,
be
A,
A.
yes, yes, that's the idea. That's one layer of logic. You might wonder, well, then what's the intrinsic value? What's that for? That's the second layer. Okay, second layer of the logic is, first of all, uh, paying out $1,120 is less burdensome than paying out 1,170. And suppose there are like 1,000, 10,000 bonds outstanding. That's going to be simply already $11,200,000, and this is $11,700,000, right? Uh,
Professor, I have a question. Is this
mhm.
totally different than the paper bond? You know how you buy a savings bond and you pay
Yeah,
half
it's
the
totally,
face value?
it's
So, for
totally,
example, if it's a five
yes,
hundred
yeah,
dollar bond and you pay 250, this is totally
it's
different,
totally,
right?
totally different
Okay,
because savings bond is the 30-year U.S. Treasury,
right.
okay, and 30-year U.S. Treasury is not a callable bond. You understand? It's not. Think about it. It's not callable. You hold it until 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
You hold it for 30 years, and you
Yeah,
get the par value.
right. Okay,
And that's a discount bond. In the first place, it's a discount bond.
right. Okay,
30-year Treasury is a discount bond. So they are not paying any interest. So that's a totally different story.
okay. Thank you.
And you're welcome. And in this case, now think about it. Um, second layer of logic is this bond benefited a lot from intrinsic value, benefited a lot from dropping of the interest rate. Of course, company B also benefit a lot. Not company B, but the intrinsic value benefits a lot from declining of the uh, uh, discount rate. But then the um, the more this is valuable, right? The more this becomes valuable. That means the actual amount of the bond, that the actual amount of the debt that the company owes, actual value of that um, is getting bigger, and also the actual value of the debt that the company B holds is getting bigger. Then think about it. When it is getting bigger, actual debt value of the actual debt is getting bigger. It's easier. It's more beneficial. It's more beneficial to pay it off with a cheaper price. Isn't it right? When the actual value of the actual present value of the debt is getting bigger due to lower discount rate, right? Just paying it off with a smaller call price is more beneficial to the company, isn't it right? And company B also their uh, actual present value of their debt is getting bigger, but it is still more onerous, more burdensome. I mean, it will still be beneficial to pay it off, but we don't know, how close this actual intrinsic value is becoming. I mean, if this actual, suppose the intrinsic value is becoming something like 120, right? If this is becoming 120, this is also becoming 120, let's say 25. I mean, which company is paying off their debt with cheaper price? This company is paying it off with cheaper price. By calling the bond, they can, and the bigger this gets, right? The bigger the intrinsic value gets. Actually, I'm paying off my debt with much cheaper price. You understand? So that's the logic behind it. One logic is between the call price. One layer of logic is the difference between the call price and the intrinsic value. The intrinsic value will get bigger and bigger and bigger as the discount rate goes down. But the call price is already predetermined. Call price is predetermined. So as the difference between the two gets bigger, it's in the benefit of company A to both companies, of course, is in the benefit of both companies to call, right, and pay off. But then the second, because it's obvious, when discount rate goes up, the intrinsic value of the debt goes up, when discount rate goes down. So that applies to both companies, but between company A and B, company A is cheaper. I mean, paying off their debt is cheaper for company A. So company A is more likely to call, right? Does that make sense? I can't look. I don't know if you can, if you're following me or not, because I don't hear any confirmation. But everyone can understand that logic. Hmm? Do you understand why it's more cheaper for company A to pay off the debt? Nobody understood? I'll just have to keep moving, because if you're not responding, I have no way of. All right. So this is basically this is the explanation. When rate goes up, market rate goes up, present value of all the scheduled payment. That's basically the intrinsic value of the bond. It will get, interest rate goes up, it will get smaller than the call price, right? Values of straight and callable bonds then converge. What that means is, when interest rate goes up, right? Look, this is the straight bond. The blue line is the straight bond, and the black line is the callable bond. And as interest rate goes up, these two bonds, the price will converge. They won't be different. But when interest rate goes down, their price will diverge. Okay, the price will diverge. And So when market rate, prevailing rate in the market goes down, values of the bonds, these two bonds, straight bond and the callable bond, diverge, reflecting the value of the firm's option to reclaim the bond um, at call price. Okay. Uh, So then, when the present value of the schedule, that means this present value of the scheduled payment is the intrinsic value of the bond. When the intrinsic value of the bond is greater than the call price, significantly at very low interest rate, then bond is called. And um, then, the intrinsic value of the bond is equal to the call price of the bond, uh, which is 1.1k if the coupon rate is 10%, right? At this point, in other words, that explains why the uh, the uh, intrinsic value of the bond uh, when the bond is called, intrinsic value of the bond, and uh, the call price uh, are exactly the same, because and if the coupon rate is 10%, there will be call premium is $100, right? So it will be 1.1k. I mean, the intrinsic value cannot, when the bond is called, intrinsic value cannot be more than the call price, because um, we all know uh, a callable bond has a limit, right? A callable bond. That's why when we value the callable bond, the timeline is only up to the end of the call protection period. It's not the full uh, timeline. Okay. That brings us to then next another we've been talking about the yield to maturity, and yield to maturity is the IRR, internal rate of return. I explained to you, internal rate of return is basically the discount rate that makes the left-hand side of the equation equal to the right-hand side of the equation. In other words, there's only one discount rate that makes the all discounted cash flow, in other words, the present values in the right-hand side, equal to the market price on the left-hand side, right? That rate that makes the right-hand side equal to the left-hand side is called, internal rate of return. And um, how is it different from realized, compound return? I mean, what is the realized compound return? Realized compound return is simply the geometric average in a single cash flow model, right? So I wonder if you remember bond valuation. You all did, in Finance 100, you all did, time value of money. And in time value of money, let me open. Yeah, it's taking so much time. Okay. Oh, where's time value of money? What? happen. Compounding. Okay. Does everyone remember in compounding how to solve for R, right? How to solve for R, the geometric average, right? Does everyone remember? Huh? This is this is future value compounding formula, but this is single cash flow model, right? Remember? Okay, Damien hasn't come back yet. Um, and when you are solving this equation for R, this is how you do it, right? R the return or the rate of return or the rate is future value over present value, right? Raised to 1 minus raised to 1 over n, raised to 1 over n minus 1. Now this is basically that's the compounded return, realized compound return, which is geometric average. Now then, if you think about it, is internal rate of return the same thing as how is internal rate of return? How is it different, or how similar are they? Actually, it's the same thing. If all the coupons are reinvested at the same rate, okay, realized compound return is also called compounded growth rate, CGR, compounded growth rate, which is FV over PV, or principal, raised to the power of 1 over n minus 1. And it's the internal rate of return or yield to maturity. It's exactly the same thing. I said only if all coupons are reinvested at the same CGR, at the same rate. Okay? But then the problem is it cannot be computed ex ante. In other words, it cannot be computed ahead of time, because there is no guarantee. The reason is that there is no guarantee. There's no guarantee that the coupons can be reinvested at the same rate. I'm going to show you an example. And because the reinvestment rate cannot be determined in advance, there's reinvestment rate risk, right? So let's take a simple example. This example is, basically called horizon analysis. Uh, Analysis of bond returns over a multi-year horizon based on forecasts of bonds yield to maturity and investment options. So here, suppose scenario one. Let's say reinvestment rate is 10%, and also let's say 10% is also the uh, 10% is also um, the yield to maturity, right? In other words, the coupon is reinvested at uh, the yield to maturity. The coupon is reinvested at yield to maturity, and then you receive, 10 if the uh, cash flow is $100, right? If cash flow is $100, um, that means coupon is also 10%. Think about it. A bond that has 10% coupon rate and 10% discount rate, such a bond, the intrinsic value of such a bond is exactly, it must be exactly $1,000. The present value must be $1,000. But anyway, from this bond, because the coupon is 10%, you receive $100 in coupon payment 1 year later. Okay? And you reinvest it at 10%. So then, if our timeline is 2 years, at the end of year two, this 100 will be 110. And then, at the end of year two, you will receive 1,100, because 1,000 is the face value, the par value, face value of the bond, and you receive $100 coupon again for the second year. The $100 coupon is 10% coupon interest rate, right? So at the end of year two, you have 1,100 and 110, which will add up to 1,210, which is obvious, which is, basically, when 10% is the compound interest rate, right? You put $1,000 in the bank for 2 years, and 2 years later, the future value will be 1,210. It's simply, 1,000 times 1.1 squared, right? Makes sense? So if the reinvestment rate is the same thing, then it's exactly single future value in the single cash flow model, right? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Is there anybody listening?
I'm
Oh,
here. I understand the compounding.
okay, good, good, good. Um, so let's, I just want to make it smaller. Can I make it smaller by, okay. So then let's think about it. Uh, the example that I just used is basically, and our in our example was now what is this single cash flow model? What is it assuming? It's basically assuming that all your interest is compounded at 10%, right? So eventually, future value at the end of year two will be $1,210 because your interest is reinvested at 10%, right? Now, that's what it is, talking about. So your coupon is interest payment, right? So your coupon is reinvested at the same, interest rate of 10%. So future value 2 will be 1,210. This is basically, compounded growth rate, CGR, right? Exactly, right? But what if the reinvestment rate is not 10% but 8%? In that case, it looks quite messy here. But what I'm trying to say here is that you're not going to get if the reinvestment rate is 8%, it's not going to be 110, right? This $100 won't grow to 110, but will grow to only 108. And at the end of year two, you will get the par value of 1,000 and another 10% coupon interest. So at the end of year two, you'll get 1,100. But because that 100 coupon, $100 coupon was reinvested at a different reinvestment rate, different interest rate, it's not going to be exactly the same thing as CGR. So this is what I'm talking about. There's no guarantee that the coupon can be reinvested at the same rate, right, as the coupon interest rate. If it can be reinvested at the same rate, then it will be exactly the same thing as yield to maturity or internal rate of return will be the same thing as the geometric average or compounded growth rate. If only they are all but again, it cannot be predicted in advance. What the reinvestment rate will be, it cannot be predicted, right? Of course, they have something called dividend reinvestment plan, but that's the stock. That's the case of stock. If the bonds also have something similar, right? Coupon reinvestment plan, and they reinvest the coupon at the same rate as the coupon rate. If they reinvest the coupon payment at the same rate as the coupon rate, then it will be exactly like that. And then there was, I don't know if you remember, but what are the risks? What is the risk in bond? Of course, there isn't only a single risk. There are at least 5 types of risks. One is the greatest one is the default risk. Obviously, you don't want your bond, you don't want your company, you don't want your borrower to default on interest payment and the principal. I mean, that is the greatest risk. And then liquidity risk is the second one. Liquidity risk is, usually, if the company that sold the bond is not a well-known company, then it's not easily liquidable. It's not easily, you cannot easily sell it in the market. So you cannot easily convert into cash. So that's the liquidity risk. Maturity risk is the longer the maturity, right? There's more uncertainty, right? The longer the maturity, the more uncertain, right? There's a bigger uncertainty about the bond. So, but it's also called price risk. Maturity risk is also called price risk. Why? Because the price risk is the due to the fluctuation in interest rate, right? Price risk is due to the fluctuation on prevailing market rate. So price risk is also called interest rate risk because it's due to interest rate fluctuations. But again, the reason why the longer the maturity, more there is more uncertainty. The reason why there is more uncertainty when there is longer maturity is eventually because there's more chances of interest rate fluctuation, right? Think about it. Within, if it is short term, we know pretty much, short term means under 1 year. We have pretty good prediction about how the interest rate will behave, and you can be, all those factors will be already priced in, right? It will be all priced in. But the longer the maturity, there are more chances of interest rate fluctuation. I mean, if your timeline is 30 years, how many times the interest rate will fluctuate over 30 years? I mean, there's more chances of interest rate fluctuation than 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, right? Makes sense? And that's the uncertainty. That's the biggest uncertainty, right? The biggest uncertainty that any investor faces. And one thing, if interest rate falls, generally everyone benefits. I mean, if I stock or bond, regardless of stock or bond, if the interest rate goes down, and this is the inverse relationship, right? The present value goes up. So you get, if you're already holding the bond or stock, you benefit from price appreciation, right? But on the other hand, if the interest rate goes up, this is a risk to everyone. If interest rate goes up, your valuation of your securities will all go down, right? So then obviously you will suffer from plummeting price of the bond or stocks. And there's also reinvestment rate risk, because when one of the reason here is only one case of reinvestment rate risk, because you don't know whether whether your coupons can be reinvested at a higher rate or lower rate. You don't know that, right? And overall interest rate goes down, and that's when you have reinvestment rate risk, right? Now, number 4 is the inflation risk. Of course, inflation risk is affecting everyone across the board. It's not just one single company or single investor. It affects everyone in the market across the board, right? And inflation obviously lowers the. It's also called purchasing power risk. Inflation lowers the purchasing power of your bond holdings or stock holdings. Any securities that you're holding will lose purchasing power. So that's
Professor,
yeah.
does the inflation risk also for the issuers as well?
Say that again.
is there for the inflation risk? Does that apply to issuers as well?
Yes, of course. Issuers. Oh no,
Money will be
actually, no, no.
less.
It affects, but it affects in different. It affects in a different way, right? It affects in a different way. Now think about it. um, the company, let's say, there is a the bond is short-term bond. Let's say 1 year, 1 year bond. So 1 year bond is generally called, just commercial paper in case of corporate. Uh, and who asked this question? Who
Anna.
asked it? Anna. Okay, Anna. This is a very good question, Anna. Uh, so I'm gonna give you a 0.25 point for that. I mean, you didn't answer anything, but you raised a good point. You raised a good point. Um, So think about it. You have 1 year commercial paper. And the company issued 1 year, 1 year ago, they issued commercial paper. So uh, par value is always $1,000, right? No matter how much it was sold for, par value is 1,000. They will have to pay 1,000. And at the because it's 1 year. At the end, there will be let's assume annual coupon. So to make it simple, let's assume annual coupon. So the coupon rate was, let's say, 10%. Coupon rate was 10%. So then at the end of the year, they will have to pay back what they the bond matures. So the bondholder will redeem, right? The bondholder will present it to the company, and they will want to redeem $1,100. Suppose they sold, 10,000 of them. If they sold 10,000 of them, then the money they have to cough up will be what? $11 million. Isn't that right? $11 million. Because 1,010 times 10,000. You tried it. It's going to be $11 million. Now, but during this year there has been 20% inflation. Let's say there has been 20% inflation. Okay, so let me put it here. Let's say coupon rate is 10%. Then at maturity, at time t, I said capital, right? Capital T means terminal time. So that, of course, in this case, 1 year. The future value or the maturity value of the bond will be $1.1K. And then think about it. There were 10,000 bonds, right? And it will come to, because there were 10,000 bonds, it will come to $11 million. However, during this 1 year, there has been 20% inflation. Then how do you adjust, so that means, future value in real terms future value in real purchasing power, right, will be, I will call this future value 1 R. R means real, in real terms. Um, you'll have to adjust it by 1.2. Okay, by doing that, let me just quickly use the calculator. And it's going to be 916.67. So what does this mean? After adjusting for inflation, in other words, in terms of real purchasing power, although nominally it's going to be $11,000. I mean, nominally it's 1.1K, 1100, right? It's in terms of actual purchasing power, it will be only worth $916. And then what does that mean? I mean, multiply it by 10,000 anyway. It will be only 9.616 million. Oh, what that means is, although nominally it is 1.1K, in terms of real purchasing power after adjusting for inflation, the money is worth a lot less. So from the company's point of view, from the issuer's point of view, it's less burdensome, it's less onerous to cough up small, nominally 1.1K, but in actual value it's smaller. Makes sense? It's smaller. In actual purchasing power, it's smaller. So it's easier to, I mean, it's less burdensome to pay out. Right? Does that make sense? Anna?
So it would benefit them?
Yes. Yes. From the issuing company's perspective, it benefits them. Now think about it. This is after, when there is inflation, everything is more expensive. Dollar's purchasing power is lower. So think about it. This is the time to pay back. Even though, suppose you have $10,000 debt, but there was an inflation, 10% inflation. So nominally you pay back $10,000, but in terms of purchasing power, in terms of value of money, it's only $9,000. So you're actually paying back less than what you actually owe, because if you paid back a year ago when there was no inflation, you had to pay back 10,000 in both nominal terms and in real terms, right? You're the borrower, the company is the borrower, and from the borrower's perspective, inflation erodes the purchasing power of money. So actually it's the money is worth less than before, right? So although it is $10,000 nominally, but it is in real purchasing power it's only $9,000. Okay, does that make sense? So it's easier to pay back. You understand?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, good, Anna. So yeah, so that's how it affects. I mean, if it from the lender's perspective, inflation is inflation affects the lender adversely, because lender gets the money back. Nominally, it's the same Nominally, it's the same amount. That's what you are supposed to get, but in real terms, you get less, right? Now it's 8:06, so I'm gonna have to take a 10-minute break because my throat, it's really hard to speak. I've been, uh, I've been holding lozenge in my mouth, all this time, but it's really, it hurts it's hard to speak. So let's get back at 8:16 sharp, right? All right, we're back. We're back. So let's do the because we did horizon analysis. I'm sorry, horizon analysis, and horizon analysis is nothing but uh, just doing um, when we have let's say um, the timeline, like 5-year timeline or 10-year timeline. And if we can predict the interest rate changes, right? If we can predict the interest rate changes, of course, over the long run, it's not going to be easy. It's not no interest prediction over like more than 5-year, 5-year into the future, right? Is reliable at all. So it's not really meaningful. But within 5 years, if you can predict the interest rate change, then we can plan ahead and uh, uh, use a strategy to maximize our return. So uh, the horizon analysis, right? So here, holding period or the total return, holding period return or the total return. Now think about it. Yield to maturity is only annualized return, right? Annual average, right? Annualized. However, um, your holding period doesn't have to be just 1 year. It can be multiple years. And during these, multiple years, let's say over the next, your holding period is going to be, your timeline is going to be more than 5 years. And over the next 5 years, you can forecast the interest rate change, the movement of interest rate. Actually, 5 years is already a long term. But let's take a look at this example. You anticipate long-term interest rate. Y stands for yield. So yield is the discount rate or the prevailing rate in the market. So you anticipate um, long-term interest rate to change or to drop from 6% to 5.5% during next year, right? So you expect next year there's the interest rate is going to change. It's going to drop to 5.5. If interest rate changes, okay, if interest rate changes, what will be the total return for 20-year 6.5% coupon bond? Okay, so the bond still has 20 years left. Coupon is 6.5. Currently, the interest rate is 6%. Next year, it's going to be 5.5. So we can already tell that this is going to be a premium bond or discount bond. We can already tell this is going to be, anyone? Larissa, your microphone is on, so you have, what do you think? This is going to be a premium bond or discount bond?
I think premium bond.
Yeah, premium bond, yes. In both cases, I mean, even before interest rate change or after interest rate change, it's going to be a premium bond because, coupon is, greater than the yield or the discount rate. So, okay, so Larissa, I'm going to give you 0.25 for that, for that answer. You're welcome. Now, so then, what's going to be my total return, right, over the next, this year and next year, right? I mean, if I'm holding it for 2 years, right? Of course, the The bond still has 20 years left as of now. So let's first find the current price of the bond. Okay, not the market price, but the intrinsic value of the bond. So basically, using the formula. This is another variant of the formula, but I don't like this because I've been telling you, this is exactly another variation, another variant of this formula. It's exactly this formula, but if you factor out coupon and put everything together in a single term, then inside the present value of annuity part only, it will look like this, but it looks quite complicated because it's like 3 layers already, right? The fraction is in 3 layers, and this is the par value, right? So first of all, then because it looks so complicated, let's do it like here. So I'm gonna do it here. So bond price now, right, will be at time 0 will be it's 6.5% coupon. So 6.5 is $65 a year, right? Which will be half year 32.5, and our discount rate is currently 0.06, right? And then minus 32.5 times 0.06 times 1.06 raised to 20 years left. So that means 40 semesters, right? 40 semesters. And another thing, it's not one. It has to be because half year rate will have to be 0.03, right? 0.03 times 1.03 raised to 40, right? Then at the end, right, we have 1,000, 1K, and then 1.03 raised to 40. So currently, so if you buy this bond today, right, and if you do this calculation, if you run this, it's going to be 1,007.79, 1,057.79. That was 057, right? 057.79. So this is, what you pay 1 year later. 1 year later, right? The rate changes, the discount rate changes. So then it's going to be and it's going to be 5.5%. So half of that will be 5.5. Half of that will be 2.25, which is 0.025, right? If it is 5.5, half of that will be 2.5, 2.75, 2.75. Yeah, 2.75. Thank you. And yeah, thank you. And who was that? Who gave me that?
Anna.
Say that again. Tiana?
Anna.
Anna. Okay, Anna. You got another 0.25. Another 0.25. Yeah. 0.0. Oh, that is what? Oh. And again, 0.0275 times 1.0275 raised to 38. Now think about it. 1 year later, you will have 19 years left. 19 years or 38 semesters, right? So then you do again 1K over 1.0275 raised to 38. Okay, and this will come out as, we have the result already there. This will come out as 1,11697. 11697. So difficult. 116.97. So think about it. If you buy today, knowing that the interest rate will change like that, if you buy today and sell it 1 year later, right? If you buy today and this is and then sell it 1 year later, then what do you realize? You will realize the capital gain, because we know if the interest rate is going to go down, the price of the bond, any present value will go up. So you get, the capital gains of, that's going to be the capital gains of 59,810. And then, so this is only capital gain portion, right? Capital gains. And then during this 1 year period, you receive the coupon of $65. Isn't it right? You receive the coupon of 65, which is interest. So your total will be 100 something, right? Your total will be 124.18, right? But this is not return. This is, profit or proceeds, right? You call this proceeds. And during this holding period, right? I mean, you held it for 1 year. So during this 1 year holding period, your total return or holding period return, let's call it or total return is then your capital gains plus cash flow, right? Capital gains plus additional income divided by initial investment, right? And your initial investment was, what was that? 1,000. Okay. And that comes out as like 12% something, right? 11.74. Okay, it comes out as 11.74. All right. So 11.74%. So this is your this is your holding period return based on the your based on your investment strategy using the interest rate change. And if we can have further forecast for interest rate, but again, it's just 1 year. I mean, you know it is, now right now at time zero it is 6%, and at time one it's going to be it's going to be 5.5. So short term, like over 1 year, that forecast is reliable, more reliable than 3 years later. I mean, but if you can have a accurate forecast of how interest rate will change in the long term, over the next 5 years, you can extend this type of strategy, right? And that way you can take advantage of you can take advantage of interest rate movements to maximize your return, maximize your holding period return, right? I mean, if the but usually, as I said, interest rate forecast is not very accurate or reliable beyond 2 years, right? So because there are so many factors that will and and that's why people every time when there is Federal Reserve open market committee, uh, they always pay attention to the press conference. Federal Reserve chairman, chairperson will give hold a press conference. It's called guidance, Federal Reserve guidance, and based on that, I mean the forecast is basically quarterly, not even annual, quarterly. Okay. All right. So our time is up. So I'm gonna have to stop recording and stop sharing, and uh, I will have to dismiss the class. And so have a good weekend. And next Thursday we meet. Next Thursday, I believe. No, next Thursday, that would be another holiday. So we don't meet next Thursday, right? Has anybody checked the?
That's correct. There's no class for next Thursday.
Okay, next Thursday. Then it will be a long weekend again. It will be a long weekend. We're gonna meet uh, Thursday, 2 weeks from now. Okay. So have a good.
Professor,
Have a good, yeah, long gap. Yeah, yeah, Anna. Yeah.
since we're not meeting next week, are you still you're gonna upload the new videos?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm gonna give it like I'm gonna give you a head start because when there's a long gap and with no videos, it's obviously not good. Okay? I'm gonna still update the videos. All right?
Okay, thank you. Have a good night,
All
Professor.
right, you're welcome. You're welcome. Take care, everyone. I'll see you. Damien, you're back, huh? I'll see you
I've been
guys
here.
all. All right, I'll see you guys all back in 2 weeks. Okay.
All right, good night.
Good night.